If you've been watching this series we call And Justice for All, I've shared many interesting comparisons between the United States Supreme Court and us here in West Virginia at the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals. For example, the two chambers look almost identical. That's because Cass Gilbert, the famous architect that designed this beautiful Supreme Court chamber, also designed the U.S. Supreme Court. We also share many traditions on how we conduct the work of the court, dating back to the first justices of the U.S. Supreme Court that wore robes. We also wear black robes here in West Virginia since we became a state. One of the traditions we don't actually follow here in West Virginia was started by the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, Melville W. Fuller. He was the Chief Justice from 1888 to 1910. He started a tradition called the 36 Handshakes. Just before the 9 Supreme Court justices take the bench in Washington, D.C., each justice shakes the hands of each of the other justices. That's 36 handshakes in all. Chief Justice Fuller said he started the 36 handshake tradition as a reminder to his fellow justices that one of the guiding principles of the Supreme Court is to demonstrate harmony. Now, a little math quiz for you. We have 5 justices on the West Virginia Supreme Court. Now, if each justice shook the hands of the other before we took the bench to hear oral arguments, how many handshakes would we have? If you guessed 10, you would be right. Even though we don't do the actual handshake tradition like they do at the U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, before oral arguments, the justices do gather here in our conference room before we walk out onto the bench to hear important cases. It gives us an opportunity to visit with one another, catch up on the happenings in each other's lives. The spirit of collegiality and respect for one another is very much a part of our tradition as justices here in West Virginia. Thank you for watching, and justice for all.